election in Georgia, seen by many as a referendum on Donald Trump's presidency. Karen Handel retained the Atlanta seat with 53% of the vote against 47% of her Democratic rival Jon Ossoff. The vacancy arose when Tom Price left to become health secretary. He had won the seat with a 23-point lead. In South Carolina, Republican Ralph Norman beat Democrat Archie Parnell in a solidly conservative area. President Trump congratulated both candidates on the victory in suburban Atlanta. He tweeted, "Congratulations to Karen Handel on her big win in Georgia 6. Fantastic job. We are all very proud of you." And that concludes your morning news update, brought to you compliments Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited and Digicel. I am Richie Farrell with the Q95 News team. We'd like to thank Matt for linking. Join us again at 12 p.m. for the midday news package with Kimberly Benjamin. Good morning.
Bring them in, I say, bring them in. Yes, the bottles are coming, and we are happy. Menupaka where the Guinness, the Shandy, and the Malta bottles. Pity free. Yes, continue mene se bouteille la bière one three, but where are the Guinness, the Shandy, and the Malta? Même conseil la bière, every 24 empty $6, and every full crate is $10. Will I oye? Under the potager, in the storeroom, under the cellar, under a step, in the drain, the grass, the highways, the byways. Find them with you, and bring them in. Bring the empty ones, and get your money.
Free talk, more data. Digicel. Experience the all-new Digicel talk and data plan. Get more data with unlimited talk right now with Digicel. Get 500 megabytes of data with free talk for 7 days for only $25. Now you can enjoy data with free talk. Yes, talk and data plans that cater to your needs. Now at Digicel. Digicel terms and conditions apply. Digicel, be extraordinary.
Hey, my name is Mr. Vegas, and I just want to take time out to tell you how great God has been to me. If God has been great to you, I want you all just enjoy this song. I climbed to the highest mountain, looked all around, couldn't find nobody. Went down into the deepest valley, looked all around and never find nobody. I went across the deep blue sea, couldn't find no one to compare to your grace, your love, your mercy. out to tell you how great God has been to me. If God has been great to you, I want you all just enjoy this song. Climbed up to the highest mountain, looked all around, couldn't find nobody. Went down into the deepest valley, looked all around and never find nobody. Across the deep blue sea, couldn't find no one to compare to your grace, your love, your mercy. Nobody greater than you. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. I looked high and low, still couldn't find nobody.
This episode of Health Vibes is brought to you by the brand you trust the most, Jolly's Pharmacy Limited, leading the way in healthcare.
At Jolly's Pharmacy, your health and wellness is our passion. No wonder Jolly's Pharmacy provides the widest variety of the highest quality vitamin supplements and remedies for your lifestyle activity and nutritional needs. Take care of your body. Get the multivitamins advantage supply to enhance, promote, improve, repair, and revitalize your body. Jolly's for the complete line of preventative and curative health supplies and tonics. Rejuvenate with men's and women's one-a-day tablets. Boost concentration. Try Centrum 7 liver, and omega-3s to build your immune and nervous system functions, strengthen your cardiovascular system, boost bone health. For stamina, get all your natural balanced megavites herbal supplements, men's daily formula for sexual energy and function, saw palmetto plus supplements to soothe joint pain. Feel like a dynamo, get up and go, catch back your mojo at Jolly's, Dominica's principal healthcare pharmacy. Why? Because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Jolly's Pharmacy presents a new and innovative radio program, Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Every Wednesday morning on Q95 FM. Health Vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lando and Pearl Fontaine Butler. Health Vibes from 10:15 to 11 a.m. It's not just your average talk show. It's appealing and educational with a bit of humor. Real vibes on your health. Now that's the vibe. Health Vibes on Q95 every Wednesday from 10:15 to 11 a.m. with Pearl and Carlton. Tune in.
Welcome to Health Vibes, Dominica's most foremost program on health, medicine, nutrition, and wellness, featuring the latest news on conventional and alternative medicine and healthcare. Now, here's your host, Carlton Lando, and co-host, Pearl Fontaine Butler.
Good morning from beautiful sunny Dominica. We are so happy that you've joined us on another episode of Health Vibes. I can tell you this weather is second to none. We are blessed with weathers that is just unique. Yesterday it was raining torrentially. Everybody was crumbling. I went to the daycare so early to pick up my daughter, but free, and every other person was coming to pick up their child. And today, it's totally different. I think this is what makes the Caribbean so unique, the place that we all call home. Good morning, my dear Pearl.
Good morning, Carlton, and
Why
good
do you
morning
look so like
to
Pearl
Dominica.
this morning?
Well, you have to try something, right? And like you were saying, Dominica and the rest of the Caribbean, but Dominica in particular, is extremely unique, and I think this is what makes the island so beautiful. Every day you wake up, it's a brand new day, and you don't know what you're going to get, right? Especially with the weather. But today I was happy to wake up to some sun and, beautiful weather.
It's really, really pretty. It's like the day that you just want to drive around, stop at a beach, read a book, have a nice
and take
punch.
a deep breath
and just chill.
This air.
But guess what? We have to work, Pearl. We're working.
I know. That's just the way it is. But a special good morning to all of our listeners. I want to shout out a couple of people this morning. There is a Snack It in Foncolais, and they make the best codfish and plantains, right? So sometimes I get breakfast from there. So I want to shout them out. It's the twin brothers, and they're doing an excellent job, and they always listen to us. So I want to big them up this morning.
Cool.
And just to everybody who tunes in every Wednesday to listen and to learn something, a special good morning to you.
Pearl, I can tell you that from the inception of the show, so many people have learnt from the contents of the show. People meet me all the time and say that they've learned so much. They literally take notes. They take notes when we have guests and when and they love the fact that the show is so broad, that we is not just censored on pure medicine, but we talk about wellness, we talk about things of the mind,
alternative medicine,
right? And so people really, really like that. And today we have a unique show as well.
Right, that's right. But before we begin our program, we do have some news items for you. Topping the news in health this week, health facilities in the Caribbean countries to be transformed to be disaster resistant. The Pan American Health Organization has so far selected 16 hospitals and healthcare centers in Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines to make them safer, greener, and more resilient to natural disasters. Under the framework of the Smart Healthcare Facilities Project, an initiative backed by UK Aid, the UK Department for International Development. The project is being financially supported by the United Kingdom's Department for International Development and implemented through the Pan American Health Organization's Health Emergencies Department in partnership with the Ministry of Health in each target country. Health facilities in 4 Eastern Caribbean countries were initially selected by PAHO after analyzing the safety and green conditions of nearly 170 hospitals and health centers and their likelihood of continuing to function in disasters. They include the La Plaine Clinic in Dominica, the Princess Alicia Hospital in Grenada, the Comfort Bay Nursing Home in St. Lucia, and the Chateau Bel Air Hospital in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In addition, interventions will be carried out at 12 health centers in St. Lucia to improve disaster resilience and to save energy and water. In Latin America and the Caribbean, 7 out of 10 hospitals are located in areas at high risk of disasters, which can leave them out of service in the event of a hurricane, earthquake, or flood. By becoming smart hospitals, selected health centers will lower operating costs, reduce risks that can occur in case of disasters, and protect the environment. And that was coming from Dana Van Alphen, PAHO project coordinator. Carlton, this is fantastic news. What are your thoughts?
I think when you were reading this, I was actually making a few notes, and I think it really synchronizes to the fact that wellness is really forging ahead, and the technocrats, the policymakers that governs health and wellness, particularly from the World Health Organization, they've recognized that greener environments, less polluted air, planting trees, even on the wrong hospitals, that in itself psychologically make people feel better. Can you imagine that you're on the ward and you just can, go out and sit under a tree with your other ward mates and have a conversation and read a book? That you're not really sitting on a bed and you just feel that in itself makes you feel sicker. But the idea that yes, you're hospitalized, but you can go out right in the hospital yard, sit under a tree, under a bench with your book, wearing your nightgown, and feeling so comfortable. I think this is a great initiative. Right. I think this is the way to go. And I think we will certainly see a change and a recovery time in terms of how quickly people become better when they're hospitalized.
And I also appreciated the aspect of water conservation.
Yes.
And even going back to what you said with the trees, there's also something, not only psychologically, but there's also something to be said for the oxygen and the carbon dioxide transference from us to trees and trees to us. So I think you're right. You're so right.
I mean, this is really good. And I think even for our own new hospital that is being constructed now, that was one of the concepts and concerns that was conceptualized in the whole planning process of the hospital. I know that Warner was considered as one of the areas for putting the hospital, and I think it was merely because of the elevation of the land and the cool breeze that comes in that area. But we are getting there, and I think this is really the way to go. I as we're on this point, it's slightly different, but it synchronizes really again on wellness. If you've been to Piarco International Airport in Trinidad, you'd recognize it's one of the fewer airports in the Caribbean that has trees. You get to Piarco and you really see trees in the airport, and people, and there are benches under the trees, and you're thinking that, wow, is this an airport? And I really like that vibes. I really like that.
Well, being that you mentioned Trinidad, I have to mention my beautiful Dominica, because we are surrounded by mountains at our airport. And which airport can brag of that, Carlton? So listen, I had a friend who visited Dominica, and when he was landing, he said, "Oh my God, I'm like surrounded by a bunch of broccoli. Like this is what it looked like, right?" And but I'm so thankful that we have such beautiful scenery here.
Yes. And even I just had my toilet at my home changed, and just about last year before, we changed all our toilets at Jolly's. And why we did so, not that the toilets were not good, but we were looking at toilets that work utilizing less water. So then when you flush, it flushes with a force, and it uses less water. It's a way of conserving water. And that's the type of toilet I bought for my home as well.
Wow.
The tank it doesn't use all its water. So a lot of times you just maybe pee in the toilet and you have to flush, and all this water just goes to waste.
Right,
So I
right.
think it's ways of
That's a really smart way to go.
Conserving and looking at our natural resources.
On the international scene, medicine information leaflets too scary, experts say. There is too much to focus on the potential side effects of medicines on information leaflets inside packs, and not enough on their benefits, say the Academy of Medical Sciences. Its new report calls for them to be rewritten to give a more balanced view. A survey by the Academy found the public was confused by information on medicines and did not trust scientific research. Scientists say clear communication with patients was a priority. The side effects listed on patient information leaflets are often very long and off-putting, the report says. They make people unduly anxious about taking medications and could be the reason why fewer than 50% continue with drugs they have started taking. The likelihood of the side effects occurring is also rarely explained. Instead, they are labeled possible or serious, and the benefits of the medicines are usually understated, taking up much less space on the leaflet than potential harms. Professor Sir John Tuke, chair of the Academy of Medical Sciences report, says there is too much impenetrable scientific language on leaflets. For example, the leaflet inside a box of paracetamol says that possible side effects from taking the tablets are the chance of developing pancreatitis or hepatitis. However, there is no information on what the conditions are or how big the risk of getting them is in reality. Rather than clearly explaining how symptoms will reduce, too many leaflets describe what the medicine does in complicated biological terms. They aren't written for a consumer's perspective, Professor Tuke says. Patients should feel confident about the medicines they are taking rather than uneasy. Now, there are a lot of great points in this news item, because
This is up my alley.
but it's actually very true,
It
right?
is,
and
it
this
is.
is the reason why people refrain from taking medications,
Yes.
or they may stop for 2 days, or you may say take 3 for the day, and they may take 1 because they're afraid of possibly getting these harmful issues, right? And then some of them go as far as saying, "Or may cause death." Listen. Nobody's trying to hear that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
You see, I was really, absorbing what you were reading, and it came, it's called the medical monograph. That piece of information that is stuck in many of your medication boxes and suspensions, liquids. They are usually placed there for litigation reasons, and that's the whole aim. So it's all about commercialization and protecting the manufacturer, and they're placed in there, yes, to give you information, basic information, what you can interpret, because one of the criticisms from the author is that the language that is used, the jargon is too medical,
Right, it's too
and so the
scientific,
average person
right.
cannot really pick it up. But then it's, as I said, the core of it, the main purpose of it is to prevent litigations. And so the manufacturer would say, well, we did indicate that X, Y can occur if you take this medication. And so their whole aim is to protect themselves. But then
that's
from
in
the writer's-
extreme cases,
from the
right?
writer's perspective, he's saying that the purpose should change. It should focus more on the true benefits of the medication and why the medication is important for you to be taken. And I agree with him 100%. too many times, the manufacturers, they focus too much on the complications. And we've seen that even, in my practice, many of our medications do come with those health monographs. Even we have a system whereby once you've gotten your medication, it's printed, the monograph is printed along with your labels, and we give them to you in your bag. People have come back frightened. They don't want the medication because this is what they've read. And we always say to them, all of the medicines are tested on mammals, usually rats, and every side effect or complication that is documented must be translated on paper, again, for legal reasons. So somebody cannot say, well, when I took this, I end up having, severe cramps and it affected my extremities. The author could say, well, that was actually mentioned. It's a small proportion, a small percentage. However, this may occur.
But I absolutely love the direction of this news item.
like that.
And I think that we should focus on the positive rather than the negative. There's just too much negativity, right? In everything. And so while we have the manufacturing companies or the pharmaceutical companies manufacturing these medications for our benefit, sometimes, seeing all of the negatives defeats the whole purpose. And, I want to say, and this is why I appreciate manufacturers who go out of their way to print on their boxes or on their product what the uses are and what it's good for. So I'll give you an example. For instance, I went into a supermarket recently and I went to buy some tea. And I'm thinking, gosh, I had a sore throat. I feel like I might be coming down with a cold. Let me look at this particular tea. And turn the box sideways, and I'm seeing that this is good for, and here are the purposes, and here's how much you should take, which I thought was really helpful. Usually you don't get that. So that's the Give Fresh Nature Teas. And I was so pleased to see all of that information on the box, because then it made my job easy. I didn't have to go into my phone and figure out what to buy. But I truly appreciated that effort.
Right.
And so I think that's the direction that possibly these leaflets need to go in.
That's true. Because even when, he gave the example of the paracetamol, which is a very commonly used drug here.
Right.
You have to really take large doses of paracetamol for it to end up having leaf cirrhosis.
Right.
It doesn't just happen like you just, so sometimes someone reading this and they say like, what? Oh, my liver is going to go, will mash up my liver, will be destroyed by this one dose. And so it's, we really want to say to you that, so these things they don't just happen like, just like that. You have to be using this for a long period of time. So I think this was a brilliant news item. This morning we do have a stop. We opening the lines, and again you can call us at 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. If you're calling us from overseas, you can also do so on 305-432-9624. And we are really, anticipating your calls. Today we just have it as a relaxing day, so you can call in, you can ask questions, you can make contributions towards the show. But we have a very, I call him a man that I see everywhere. Anytime you talk anything to do with health and wellness and everything that's productive, you see File Lander present. And so most people know you in the Calypso arena as well, with a great voice. You had this amazing song this year actually, and you are here with us today in another capacity.
Yes, indeed. Good morning to the listeners of Q95 and also the listeners of Health Vibes. I would like to say before I begin on why I'm here that this show is a very interactive and very interesting one, because it makes the job of the health providers, I believe, because myself being a student, getting into the health field as a student nurse at the Dominica State College, it is it makes the job of the health provider much easier, that persons don't necessarily have to come to the hospital, don't have to come to the health center or into the health provider's office to get this level of information. I'm here in the capacity of the president of the Dementia Foundation, and today, June 21st, is the longest day of the year. Now, many people may be asking, what do we say longest day? Is the day 25 hours or 26 hours? No, the sun is going to be up a bit longer for today. And basically, the longest day is all about love, to be honest. And why we say about love? Under dementia, one of the key illnesses that we speak about is Alzheimer's disease. And as a result, Alzheimer's disease, many people may have family, the elderly, their grandparents, their grandfather, their grandmother, who has Alzheimer's disease. And today is the day that we are asking people to go out there and share the love with your grandparents. And as a result, we are asking, and we are spend at least, the day is longer, so don't say that you don't have enough time to just spend 5 minutes with your grandparents. Take some time out, give them a call, go tell them hello, and give them that love. And also, what it is today, we are raising funds for all around the world, in every country that has an Alzheimer's or dementia foundation or association, that people are going out and giving and spreading information on what is dementia, what is Alzheimer's, as well as raising funds for Alzheimer's disease.
Okay, we have a caller. Good morning to you, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
We're doing good.
Okay, Carlton, I called last week and I asked you about medication for...
That was week before. I was out last
before.
week.
Yes, because last week was a different thing.
Yes,
It
I
was
saw.
about it.
Yes, I actually saw your bottle this morning while I was walking, looking for the shelves, and that is available. We still do have it in supply. It's a shower gel, a body wash for psoriasis and chronic eczema. It is available, and that's about $90-something thereabout.
Okay.
So if you do, once you come into the store,
The name I want.
it's black. It's black.
Okay, black.
Black soap. I think it's black. Yeah, black soap. Body wash.
To me, that's another one because I could remember the black soap.
Yeah, but it's from the same company, the same line of product, but it's the body wash preparation. So it has no sulfates, no animal residues, no preservatives. So it's specifically for people with a chronic phase.
Okay, another question. I'm glad the topic today because I want to ask that question for a while. Okay, like you speaking now about
Alzheimer's or dementia. Mm-hmm.
Somebody was telling me, or I understood that when you cook in pots, what is their name? What they look at?
Aluminum pots.
Aluminum pots. That can be the part of the cause of Alzheimer's or whatever the name is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? And tell me, because this person tell me that, and I have stainless, I have those aluminum, I cook in all. So I would like to know, because nowadays it's health.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't even know what to eat, what to do, what not to do.
Yes.
So I would like a little education on that, please, if you can.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you've raised. Aluminum has been shown to actually, in large quantities, that is, when we use aluminum, whether it's in our deodorants, whether it's in certain food products, whether it's again through our stainless, well, not the stainless steel, but our aluminum pots. Some of them, they are also laced with a coating to prevent the things from sticking into the pot. There have been some studies that have shown that high levels of aluminum in the blood can affect memory. And so that's the correlation there. But again, it's something that takes a long period of time to happen because of the amount of aluminum in the blood has to be very high for that to begin to happen. But again, many people are taking precaution and they are already avoiding deodorants or antiperspirants that may contain aluminum, particularly women, even women who've had breast cancer or recovering from breast cancer. They normally recommend that they do not use aluminum-based antiperspirants.
Okay, because they tell me about the cancer too.
Yes.
It triggers the cancer cells.
Yes.
Okay then.
Thank you very much. So, File,
We have another caller.
Okay.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to
I would
you.
like to know what are the fibroids.
You want to know what, please?
Yeah, what are the fibroids?
Fibroids. Okay. Now, I mean, that's a very broad topic. I'm not a gynecologist by any means. Many times, medications that are given would have to depend on the assessment of your healthcare provider, more specifically your gynecologist. Some people are treated with hormonal treatments, whereby those hormones would actually help to shrink or reduce the growth of the fibroids. Some people may have to do surgery. Again, it would have to be dependent on the assessment of your healthcare provider. So it's not one that I would be able to say to you, well, you could just come to the drugstore and get a medication. The medications would have to be prescribed. And again, it would have to be dependent on what your specialists would have seen as the cause of the fibroids, because there are different causes of fibrosis.
But just to point out, though, re the fibroids, you should definitely pay attention to what you eat, and
definitely.
also try to eat more of green leafy vegetables, vitamin K rich foods, cruciferous vegetables, beta carotene rich foods, and also high iron foods.
Right.
So
And
also flaxseed is very good as well.
And you want
So
to really
try
stay away
those.
from fatty foods and animal fats.
Right,
That as well, particularly red meats,
Right.
Yes. But Fire, so you were saying that, because one of the things that you mentioned, and I wanted to kind of play devil's advocate. I heard you talking grandparents. Alzheimer's, dementia only affecting the elderly? Because when we say that, it could mean that only grandparents are prone to this disease.
Well, that is a very interesting question and very debatable, I should say. However, Alzheimer's, dementia, it all comes back down to it being a degenerative brain disease in which your brain begins to atrophy or waste away. And as a result, this can happen to anybody at any stage in their life. Because, for example, under dementia, you may also find Parkinson's disease, which is also a degenerative brain disease. So at that point, the focus is mainly on grandparents because it is mostly seen in the elderly. However, we are not saying that it does not affect young persons, because there have been cases of Parkinson's in younger persons. However, the focus is mainly on Alzheimer's for today because of the fact that Alzheimer's, in terms of the longest stay and people not taking enough time to spend with their grandparents, as well as using, and it also takes a twist because the International Alzheimer's Association has made it known that with healthy living as well as health and wellness, yourself can prevent your or lower your risk of achieving Alzheimer's disease. So through healthy activities such as running or taking a walk or reading, brain stimulating activities, you can get yourself at a better or lower your risk rather of achieving Alzheimer's disease.
So you're saying to me, I go to visit my grandmother, who has Alzheimer's, and I'm excited. I've listened to you on the radio, and I'm all motivated to go visit my grandmother. When I get there, my grandmother tells me, "Who am I?" Sauli, I'm a pakone too. Sorti duva. And my grandmother begins to talk to me in that way. What do I do then? How do I? Because that's it's a lot of things that happens with this disease. what do you say to the family member who would have been so excited to go and visit their loved one, and then when they get there, they are being rejected, or that is the kind of feedback they get?
Unfortunately, that is the sad truth about dementia and Alzheimer's disease, because when you are at that age already, people are saying you are senile or whatnot, and you tend to forget certain things. And we, as the Dementia Foundation, this is our current mandate in letting people know that it is okay that your grandmother does not know you right now. It is just what is happening, and you have to continue to love her and give her that care. Because just as you would with someone who has breast cancer or someone who has hypertension in your family, where that the entire family pots has to be changed because of the fact that too much salt is being consumed by the family. That is something that we are trying to let people know, that you have to be understanding. Although sometimes in our society we may not be so understanding. Oh, she just crazy. Oh, she just this. And these comments that we make about the elderly, unfortunately, that's not the case. We have to love our family members, no matter in sickness and in health. No, it doesn't only apply to marriage. You have to love everyone and give them that love. So at that point in time, to answer your question, you have to try your best to say, Granny, File, I come back to see you. Last week I forgot to come. I'm back here. You remember me? Or I'm your grandchild. Just trying to stimulate their memory. It may or may not work, but you continue to try to stimulate their memory. And also, sometimes it's also advised that constant visits is one thing that also assists, because if you continue coming, it might also stimulate their brain to see that, okay, that is a familiar face, even though, because sometimes it's asked, why is it that they remember their nurses so well, but they always forget their family members? And that is mainly because of the fact that if you are in a healthcare facility like the infirmary, you see these people every day, but your family member only comes on Mother's Day, or only comes on the weekend, or only comes once a month, if they do come at all. So sometimes we put our family members in these healthcare facilities and we completely forget them. We leave them alone. We do not visit. We may be making contributions at the end of the month, and that is it. So and my grandmother always says that the grandchildren give her life. So we, growing up, would be around her, always around her, giving her life, and always being there, keeping her busy, so keeping her brain stimulated. And that is one of the ways that we, as young people, which the Dementia Foundation is predominantly, we are majority of us are younger people. We are trying to make it known that yes, it is important, and we are hoping that people see that if young people are so interested in helping older persons, that they as well can become interested and continue to assist.
But that was an interesting question that you asked. I mean,
Yes.
Hypothetically speaking, if my grandmother suffered with dementia or Alzheimer's, I would go there with the idea or the thought that perhaps she may not recognize me today. So we also have to exercise a level of patience. We know what she is going through. And so if she were to say to me, Mopa konetu, I would say, Mo konetu.
Yes.
Kumauye, you talk to, you engage in conversation. Okay, but you don't know me. Let's engage in conversation. And you never know, over a period of time, the few minutes passes, she may say, it may just change, and she may just come to remember who you are.
Yes.
So we need to take a lot more patience with our elderly. We definitely do.
I remembered not very long, we were out, my team and I were out in a particular community, and a couple who've been married for many, many years, they were going through a tough time where one spouse is ill with this disease, and it's really affecting the other, because the individual was really crying and kind of break down in when talking to us of the challenge that she has to now put the match a particular way. She have to know so many precautions that she has to take because of what's happening. What does the foundation have in place to support the caregiver? Because a lot of the time the caregiver themselves can become very, very depressed and stressed and may just want to give up. What do you all have in place to assist people Do you are you looking at having workshops? Are you looking at programs whereby you can have a cadre, a pool of people sit together, they can meet, they can support each other, and because they have a common denominator right there.
At the moment, we are currently partnering and discussing with some agencies such as the Dominica Council on Aging, as well as FARCS in Mount Daniel Premium Home and Care Residential Services. Basically, because these two agencies have this focus on the elderly, mainly, we are sort of feeding off what they are already doing and mainly providing support for now, because the foundation being very new and being very young, we are trying to get our foot wet, I should say. Trying to see how things are rolling, trying to understand, and also gaining feedback from family members. Also, because we have been contacted since the inception since last year. We've been contacted by a few family members of persons who have dementia, and they have told us, okay, how can you help us? And we're basically linking them to who we think is best able to help them at the moment. It is the dream, of course, of the Dementia Foundation for us to be able to someday help them ourselves. But also through basic counseling and being there and assisting persons. And if they, for example, need someone to come over sometimes and assist with the changing or the just the general conversation with the elderly, we are willing and able to do such. However, in terms of training and also opening the minds of the caregivers, we are still in the planning stage, but it is on the cards for the foundation at the moment, and we're looking forward to getting much more support from both the private and public sector, and also from the people out there who have had people with dementia in their house, who can give their stories, who can give testimonials of, okay, people say we should do this, but this is what I did and it worked. Because a lot of the time we have people who go to doctors and doctors tell them take this medication, that medication, this medication, and that never worked for them. But some, as you say, alternative medicine can also assist. So these are other things that we are looking forward to educating the public on, and doing some minor research as to how we can better assist people who have persons within their house who have dementia.
I think it's actually commendable that we have young people. Fael is not an older person, but that we have young people really spearheading initiatives like this.
Definitely. I've been listening to Fael, and I wanted to ask you another area that's of concern to me and to us. Abuse of people with Alzheimer's. I have seen it myself, even maybe not being a pharmacist at the time, whereby people often would think that this person is wicked. Why wouldn't you walk to the toilet when you know the toilet is there? You poop right there. You just take off your underwear and poop on the floor. How can you tell the neighbor that I didn't feed you when I just fed you? And then you lose your patient and you slap your mother and you slap your father and you lock him in the room and you close the door. What does the foundation, what advice would you give to people who are in those situations where maybe they've just lost it, they don't understand the disease because they don't understand that there is a part of the brain that tells you, you have to open your mouth so that you can put the spoon in there. That part of the brain is just shut down and the person doesn't know that the mouth has to open. And that's how people have to understand how this disease really, really operates. So for the person who doesn't understand that and thinks, well, my grandmother, my auntie, my mother is wicked and malicious and may give them a cough, a pinch, a slap from time to time, what do you say to that?
I like to liken it to you dealing with a young child that has Down syndrome. For example, if you have this child in your house who is doing the same things as you, explained, why is it that quite often we are more understanding and say, okay, yes, he just sick. But when it comes to an elderly person, always wicked, they wicked. Because, and although it comes back down to education and understanding that, yes, this person has dementia, but has this person been diagnosed with dementia? So you would have the person in your house, but they have you just consider them to be going senile, and you haven't taken them to a doctor at all.
That's a good point.
And the doctor they're not on any medication to control that. So as a result, the person will continue to be treated in a way that, okay, just wicked, But if, for example, and I always say this, if something has changed drastically from your grandparent or your mother or your father, they're usually doing this, they're usually peppy, and especially while the age goes to the late 60s, early 70s, that is the type of age range that you should get your family to get their usual checkups, because it is through those usual checkups where these things are usually caught. And as a result, if it's not diagnosed, it's going to be even more difficult. However, with the elderly, they may be getting troublesome, not necessarily because of dementia, but just because of age. And the brain itself is not necessarily beginning to atrophy, but it's just that time of their lifetime where once a man, twice a child.
Yeah.
So we have to be very understanding. And it comes back down to being there for your family and being able to see the changes. Because if you're not there all the time with your mother or with your father, and you just one day pop up and you see something different with them, you would not realize that over time that this change has been occurring and this has been happening. And this is another one of our focuses, because elder abuse is very prevalent even within our care facilities on island. And it's a huge concern for us, and not only us, for even for FARCs as well as the Dominica Council on Aging, where persons are now caregivers are now being trained in certain basic skills such as first aid, as well as being able to identify the warning signs of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, so that we are better able to give care to the elderly. Because we're not trying to make this a palliative care where we're giving people care to the end of their life, but making those years before the need for palliative care, those years before. So the years before, where they were given primary health care, where they're taking care of their pressure, taking care of their sugar, and now you have that space in between where they're on their medication, and that's before they are on their way out. So that space between, what are we doing? How are we caring for them? Who is caring for them? If you're not able to care for them, finding someone who has the patience, one, as well as finding someone who has the time. Because sometimes we have jobs, persons have jobs and are unable to be at home with their mother and father all around. So the infirmary has a good program. I think they have a daycare facility for the elderly. So that could be an option. These are other options that can be taken into consideration. And just like you would deal with a child, where you would take a break, where you don't react one time, you take a step back. Because sometimes you're told that there are parents who take their time and take a breath before they react and hit their child, because they know if they hit them right now, it might be worse than if they really rethink, why did the child do this? So we take this as teaching moments rather than reacting to the so you teach yourself while dealing with and become mini experts with the persons, with your family members.
Good point.
Very well said.
I think too, though, that I have a colleague of mine who is a pharmacist in the Cayman Islands, and actually that's her specialty, dealing with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. She's really, really great at that area. And one of the things that she's always advocated is that even the caregiver themselves need breaks, and they need debriefing. They need the support, and so sometimes too that families can help each other by having like a shift system, whereby my sister who takes care of mommy all day can now get a break and do something because she needs to read her system as well, to replenish herself for the next time when she comes.
And then it comes back down to, again, as you said, being understanding. You as a group of people within the family have to really understand what is going on with your family member. So have a family meeting saying that this is going on, this is what's happening, okay, mommy is sick, we have to take care of mommy. Just like you would do with a cancer patient, understanding that she needs round-the-clock care, taking care of her. And if you cannot do so, you find other means. And I'll tell you straight off, it is easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because health on a whole is not a cheap thing. Because it's not cheap to be buying Pampers daily for your monthly for a child, much less for an adult, or for an adult and a child. So you have to look at weigh your options, see how persons outside of the family can assist you, and make do with what you have and work hard to get your family member.
We're just getting out of time, but I know that there is an activity that the association is embarking on to raise some funds. Can you just brief us on the activity and the location where the activity is going to be held?
Well, this morning we are having a small bake sale outside of Whitchurch, and it's again raising awareness of dementia and also so we are looking forward to persons who just passing, or if you are listening to my voice on your way to town, please come on down and purchase a couple cupcakes just to support the foundation so that we are able to better assist and in the future be able to give better care to the elderly who suffer from dementia.
Great.
Well, that's it for Health Vibes today. We had a really great program today. Fael, thank you for being here. It's commendable what you're doing. Carlton?
Yes, and I know that, what's her name? Rihanna. Rihanna is currently in England receiving this amazing award from the Queen. So we want to congratulate her again, and and the work that she has done with the association. We truly wish the association well, and anything that we can do on Health Vibes to assist with the amplification of the works of the association, we are always happy to do so. Until next time, I'm your host Carlton, saying go out and do something productive today.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Health Vibes. You were listening to Health Vibes, a production of Jolly's Pharmacy Limited.
Hey, my name is Mr. Vegas, and I just want to take time out to tell you how great God has been to me. If God has been great to you, I want you all just enjoy this song. I climbed up to the highest mountain, looked all around.